Today's challenge is to fix this. This is an all too common occurrence on the Mini Coopers. This is a plastic, hard, brittle plastic grill cover. It's right about where your feet enter and exit the cockpit. So therefore, they get crunched. Now, as a matter of fact, you can't hardly tell. Yeah, that one is definitely crunched as well. So it's definitely time to replace them. And to do that, I can either go online and go to the Mini dealer and spend a fortune. You won't believe what these things cost to get new ones. Or I can try to cobble something together. Or I can use my favorite option and go to the boneyard and see if I can spot a couple more. Let's go. And sometimes when you're trying to put together a budget car, you got to go to extreme measures. In this case, 4 miles from my house is a junkyard that's got a few minis. Luckily, it's got a couple R56s, pretty well worked over. The trick is to pry off this entire outer section just to get to the speaker grill, which is all I really need. Okay, it's a little convoluted, but this speaker grill is held in with 6 heat-staked plastic tabs that have been melted down into the base here, you can see. So the only way to really get them out, if I would have thought about it a bit more, I would have brought a battery-powered grinder and just ground these off and would have had it out in just almost no time. But as it is, what I'm going to have to do is just use a screwdriver as a chisel to get under the tab and lift it up enough to just work it out so that it snaps off. Okay, and once you get it out, you get the little tab out, and then that one is loose, and just rinse and repeat 5 more times. Okay, and now that it's out, you can see corresponding, that tab actually survived. Now you can see that there are screw holes that can be rotated into position to install this using screws, and these can be ground off. So now I have good speaker grills to put on my little project car. Okay, and mine is missing this chrome piece, which I can snag off of this for no doubt chump change. So I think I'll go ahead and take the whole grill just to be safe in case mine has any imperfections. Just be a few bucks more that way. All right, to get access to this, to get this off the door panel, you've got to remove this entire outside kind of U-shaped panel. This one, sadly, the one with the damage, stays intact, stays in here. So I'm just going to remove this. Short story, there's a pin down here that gets pulled out, which I can almost do with I can do it with my fingers. What do you know? So that comes out. I'm going to put it in my parts bin. And the rest of it's just using your pry tools to get around the door, pry it loose, lift it off, and then you can get to the speaker grill. All right, let's start over here. Good a place as any. There we go. And once it starts, they tend to get easier. I use this part. Alright, now having suffered through removing the replacements at the junkyard already, I am not going to take these out the same horrible way. I'm just going to try drilling right down through the center of the heat welded staking point. and a couple spots if I can get it, and just see if that gives me, that loosens it up enough to get it out. Okay, again, I don't really have to worry too much about damaging anything here because the old speaker grill is definitely toast, and I'm not going anywhere near the part of the door panel I'm going to have to use. So again, I'm just weakening the bond between these two, between the door panel and the speaker grill. And that ought to have it loose, and might need a little bit of violence to get it started, but once I get the first corner pushed out, the rest should come easily. Just turning it, breaking the damaged plastic out of the way. Alright, there we go, folks. We now have a reasonably good platform to work with. I don't have to really worry about these spots. I do want to clean up underneath where there may be a little bit of debris from the drilling process, because that could keep the new speaker grill from mating flush. So, alright, we're ready to go get the new used part. And oh my, I gotta clean these up before I put them on. Look at that, folks. That was a whopping $6 a pair to get these from my local boneyard, so that's a good deal. Now, the one thing that might give me some problems is these, here's where I had to chisel out the old ones from the donor car. So I'm going to snip off any of the remaining plastic that might extend up far enough to cause problems. And nothing fancy about this. I could use a grinder, I could use all kinds of proper tools, but this is quicker, so I'm going to do this. Okay, and again, this is not highly precision. It's just a matter of making sure there's no interference between the old and the new. And the cool thing is, you'll notice that put the original part sticker back in place, that they kind of anticipated something like this. They left screw holes in the speaker grill, and if you look in here, there are corresponding holes. So now, whenever I line up the locating tab and put this in, you can see, okay, there's the locating tab. I'm going to put it in place. You can see that there are places for screws to be put through from the back to hold the speaker grill in place. How cool is that? Now I just have to find some screws. And happily, I happen to have a bunch of little tiny screws. Now, the eagle eye among you will recognize the fact these are actually, they're taper-headed brass screws that you would use like in a picture frame or something, but that's not going to show from the front. So until somebody takes the door panel off, nobody will know what I used. Okay, put the locating tab in, push it up, drop in a screw, get it started. And the thing is, folks, don't go crazy on the screws, because if it's a little bit too long, it's going to go right through the speaker bezel out the front, and you're going to be back in the junkyard looking for your next victim. So just be careful. So basically, these get screwed down firm. Don't go crazy. It's plastic threads, so it will certainly be enough to hold these in place for anything my little Mini goes through and I survive. So I think we're good. Okay, there you go. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of liking it. I don't think it looks bad at all. In fact, it looks kind of custom. I think that's it. Yeah, it's custom. Popped into place. All right, now it just remains to hook up the puddle light and slide it into place. Okay, we are done. And I gotta tell you folks, that is just a huge improvement. I mean, whenever you look at the difference in this door panel before and after, that's night and day. It's not perfect, this being a $2,000 project car, but still, that's for $6. You're not gonna make a better improvement than that. Now all I have to do is the other side.